Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's market briefing. I'm Carol Dewey, founder of Perpetual Wealth Financial, and I thank you for joining me. If you've been paying attention to the headlines, you know that Made in America is making a comeback. Manufacturing, reshoring, supply chain independence, these are centerpieces of President Trump's economic vision. But there's a major problem no one in Washington is talking about. And frankly, it's a deal breaker. The truth, you can't bring manufacturing back to America unless robots do most of the work. In this session, I'll explain why the labor math doesn't work, why that creates an unstoppable tailwind for physical AI, and why May 7 could be the spark that lights a generational wealth fire. We're talking about a $7 trillion rotation, a breakthrough in AI, and the birth of what we're calling Mega 7. No politics, just profits. So let's go ahead and dig in. Here's a hard truth few in Washington will say out loud. President Trump's economic agenda faces a major challenge. Industrializing America, reshoring manufacturing, bringing back Made in the USA, Trump has made this a central part of his economic agenda. But no one is talking about a major roadblock preventing all of this from happening. Here's the hard truth. You can't bring back American manufacturing unless robots do most of the work. It's all about the numbers. There simply are not enough people, enough skill, or cheap enough labor to make it happen any other way. That reality means one thing for investors. Physical AI, not just digital AI, is about to explode. However, the stocks of companies developing and using physical artificial intelligence, robotics, and other forms of AI-powered automation can't explode yet. They need a catalyst, something that will uncap $7 trillion in cash that's been sitting on the sidelines and basically cause a summer panic in the markets. So in this session, let's dig a little deeper into that catalyst and all $7 trillion of those dollars. Plus, I'll start to show you why this summer panic could drive physical AI stocks higher. So let's go take a look. There's an imminent $7 trillion summer panic catalyst on the horizon. Today, roughly $7 trillion is parked in money market funds, earning about 4.5%, while investors wait for better opportunities to pop up. In other words, we're all waiting for a catalyst that could be the pin that pops the cash bubble, unleashing a violent rotation back into stocks, what we're calling the 2025 summer panic. In fact, I'm confident that this big event scheduled to take place very soon, we think May 7th, possibility, is virtually guaranteed to trigger huge moves in the market. It has been almost 30 years since investors last saw the same 1-2 punch of this bullish signal and a breakthrough technology platform. Back then it was the internet. This year it's artificial intelligence. When that cash stampede begins, history suggests it will not dribble in slowly. In 1997, the same signal sent money market balances down 8% in a single quarter and ignited a 2-year melt-up that minted millionaires. I believe the setup is even stronger now. And on May 7, the $7 trillion sitting in cash could rush toward the very companies building America's AI-powered factory floor. Trump's reshoring agenda, it is a big vision, but also a big problem. Trump is pushing what may be the boldest industrial policy in U.S. history, a $500 billion commitment to expand AI infrastructure through the Stargate project, support domestic manufacturing, and restore the U.S. supply chain independence. It is a compelling vision. Chip fabs in Ohio, EV battery plants in Michigan, robotics in Texas, steel in Pennsylvania. But no one is talking about a major problem. Who's going to work in all these factories? What about the labor supply? The people simply aren't there. As of today, fewer than 2 million Americans are filing for unemployment benefits. Meanwhile, the president's reshoring goals imply replacing tens of millions of overseas manufacturing jobs. China has more than 100 million manufacturing workers. India has about 20 million. Vietnam has more than 10 million. That is 130 million to 150 million manufacturing jobs in just 3 Asian countries, many of which feed U.S. supply chains. Yet, the United States cannot staff its existing plants, never mind an expanded industrial base without automation. So what about labor quality? Americans don't want these jobs. The United States offshored manufacturing work for a reason. The positions are difficult, often dangerous, and generally not the kind of roles in which young Americans see a future. A recent Cato Institute survey captured this mismatch. 80% of the respondents say the nation would be better off if more people worked in manufacturing, but only 20% say they would be better off working in a factory. The workforce has moved on, but if Trump has his way, the factories will be moving back. What about labor costs? We can't even compete on wages. The economics here are even starker. Minimum wage in China averages about $300 a month. Vietnam, roughly $200. India, below $200 in many regions. U.S. federal minimum wage implies more than $1,200 a month, and factories often pay far more. U.S. labor is 4 to 6 times as expensive as most Asian labor. That math doesn't pencil out unless companies deploy AI-powered machines that don't take breaks or get benefits or paid time off. Robots. It's the only way reshoring works. So put simply, Trump's industrial renaissance only works if robots build it. The 21st century American factory will not look like Detroit in the 1950s. It will look like Tesla's gigafactory multiplied across industries. There will be fewer humans working inside them, replaced instead by dozens of industrial arms, autonomous material handling, machine vision-based quality assurance systems, and zero-light warehouses. The goal may be to replace Chinese or Indian labor with American labor. The reality is that we'll replace foreign humans with domestic machines. That is why our team sees physical AI, robots, automation systems, machine vision as the next leg of the AI revolution. That will usher in a physical AI revolution. Until now, most of the AI hype has revolved around language models, chatbots, and digital copilots. These software breakthroughs have been transformative for knowledge work, but the next frontier is the physical world. Factory robots that can see, learn, and adapt. Warehouse pick and pack bots powered by machine vision models, autonomous forklifts, and mobile platforms. AI-driven robotic arms that can manufacture, weld, and inspect. With Stargate's build-out of domestic compute capacity, that kind of robotic intelligence can scale quickly. Just as ChatGPT catalyzed digital AI adoption, the Trump administration supported 2025-26 infrastructure wave could catalyze the physical AI adoption across manufacturing, logistics, and defense. That's why we believe the next wealth-defining list will be a basket of small U.S.-based physical AI leaders, which we're calling the Mega 7. And no, we're not taking any political sides here. In this case, Mega stands for Make AI Great in America. And this could usher in a generational wealth window. This rare alignment of 1, a rally-inducing market signal, 2, a record cash hoard, and 3, a breakthrough technology platform has happened once in modern history, the late 1990s dot-com era. Investors who acted early in 1997 could have turned 5-figure stakes into 6- and 7-figure fortunes in just a few years. If we're right, May 7 could mark the start of a second and possibly larger melt-up, one in which physical AI winners become the new titans of American industry. That is the sort of opportunity often described as generational wealth. It's not about adding a few percentage points to a portfolio. It's about potentially changing a family's balance sheet for decades. This is not merely a policy trend, it is an investment megatrend. The economic math points to automation, the political momentum points to domestic build-out, the AI infrastructure build points to a physical AI supercycle. Trump wants to bring manufacturing back to America, but only robots can make the math work. If the Federal Reserve signals an easing cycle on May 7, the $7 trillion in sideline cash could rush into the exact name supplying America's next factory workforce. So let's recap what we've covered today. There's not enough labor in America to support a manufacturing comeback without robots. The economics of reshoring only work if automation fills the gap. May 7 could be the moment that uncaps $7 trillion in sideline cash, just like we saw back in 1997 before the dot-com melt-up. And physical AI, not just software, but machines, robots, and systems, could be the biggest beneficiary. If you're looking for what's next, not just for the markets, but for American industry and your investment strategy, this could be it. If you haven't already, grab your copy of Tariffs and Your Retirement to get ahead of these shifts. And if you'd like help positioning your portfolio, schedule your complimentary lifestyle and legacy assessment, and let's talk about how to align your strategy with this unfolding megatrend. Thanks again for joining me. Stay tuned, stay informed, stay strategic, and remember, America's future might be built by robots, but your legacy will be built by what you do right now. And we'll see you next week.